This is Today English Podcast, and today we begin a long, warm, slow story about confidence, a story told in simple English, friendly English, English that feels like someone sitting beside you, talking gently, helping you grow, helping you understand each word, helping you enjoy each moment. And our story begins in a quiet town on a quiet morning with a quiet boy named Adam, a boy who always felt the world was a little louder than he was, a boy who walked carefully, spoke softly, and often wondered if maybe he was invisible. Adam was not unhappy, no, not exactly. He liked his small world, his morning walks, his familiar streets, and the simple rhythm of his days. But inside, somewhere deep, there was a tiny wish, a quiet but strong wish, a wish that kept tapping gently on the door of his heart. I want to feel brave. I want to feel confident. I want to feel like I belong in the world. And maybe you understand that feeling too. Maybe you came to this story because you want to feel the same thing. Maybe you want to speak better, move better, live better, and feel stronger inside. So let us walk with Adam now, slowly, step by step, word by word, because his journey is also your journey, and the way he finds confidence might help you find confidence too. On this particular morning, the sky was a soft gray, the kind of gray that feels like a long exhale. Adam walked to school with his hands in his pockets, listening to the quiet sounds around him, the distant hum of cars, the soft whisper of the wind, the gentle chatter of birds thinking about breakfast. Everything felt normal, familiar, safe. And yet, that small wish inside him pushed again. He imagined himself walking differently, walking like someone who knew exactly where he was going, someone who didn't hide his eyes, someone who could speak in class without his voice shaking. He imagined raising his hand, sharing his ideas, maybe making someone laugh. But every time he imagined these things, fear stepped in. No, fear whispered. You will say something wrong. They will look at you. You will feel small again. And so he walked like he always walked, quietly, carefully, hoping no one would notice him. But today, something unusual was waiting for him, something small, but powerful, like a spark waiting to become a flame. When he reached school, he found a flyer taped to the door. The paper was bright yellow, brighter than the sky, brighter than his mood, and in big friendly letters, it said, Confidence Club, a place to practice speaking, sharing, and growing. Everyone welcome. Adam stared at the words for a long moment. Confidence Club. It sounded interesting. It sounded safe. It sounded like exactly what he needed. And yet, fear whispered again. You? In a club? Speaking? No, not you. Adam felt his stomach tighten, and he quickly stepped inside the school building, pretending he had not seen the flyer at all. But the words stayed with him, quietly walking beside him all day long. In class, Adam sat in his usual seat at the back, near the window. He liked that seat because he could look outside when he felt nervous. Today, the teacher asked the students to share one thing they wanted to work on this year. Students raised their hands confidently. I want to do better in science, one said. I want to join the sports team, another added. I want to make new friends, someone else said happily. Adam wanted to say something too. He wanted to raise his hand and tell the truth. I want to be confident. But the words got stuck again, stuck in his throat like a bird afraid to fly. His heart beat faster. His hand stayed down. And the chance passed. During lunch, Adam sat alone under a tree outside. He liked the tree because it felt like a quiet friend. He took out his simple lunch and ate slowly. A group of students nearby were laughing together, sharing stories, talking loudly with bright energy. Adam watched them, not with jealousy, but with wonder. How did they do it? How did they speak so easily? How did they smile without thinking? He wished he could join them, but he didn't know how. He didn't know what to say. And so he stayed under his tree, quiet and invisible. When the final bell rang, Adam walked home slowly. His backpack felt heavy, not because of the books inside, but because of the thoughts inside him. The yellow flyer appeared again in his mind. Confidence Club. He didn't know what they would do there. Maybe they would make people talk in front of others. Maybe they would judge him. Maybe he would feel foolish. The fear grew stronger, but that small wish inside him pushed harder this time. Try, the wish said softly. Just try once. You don't have to be perfect. You only have to show up. Adam didn't know which voice to listen to. When he got home, he placed his backpack on the floor and sat on his bed. The room was quiet, calm, filled with the soft afternoon light. He closed his eyes for a moment and imagined something different. He imagined walking into the Confidence Club room. He imagined people smiling at him, welcoming him. He imagined speaking slowly, even if his voice shook. And he imagined feeling proud, even if just a little. The picture felt warm. It felt possible. And for the first time in a long while, he felt a tiny spark of courage. The next day at school, Adam didn't look at the floor when he approached the entrance. He looked up, straight at the yellow flyer. It was still there, shining with the same bright hope. His heart thumped loudly, but he didn't walk past this time. He stopped. He read it again. Confidence Club, everyone welcome. Everyone. That meant him too. At least, he hoped it did. He touched the edge of the paper lightly, almost like shaking hands with a new friend. After school, the meeting would happen in room 12. It was decided. He would go. Maybe. Probably. Possibly. Hopefully. The courage was small, but it was there. Classes felt longer today. Adam kept checking the clock, not because he was excited, but because he was nervous. His stomach felt strange, like butterflies learning how to fly. He wondered who would be there. He wondered if he would freeze and forget how to speak. He wondered if he should escape before it was too late. But every time fear tried to convince him to quit, that small wish whispered again, "You are trying. That is enough." When the final bell rang, instead of rushing home, Adam slowly walked toward room 12. Each step felt heavy but important, like stepping into a new version of himself. He wanted to turn around many times, but he didn't. When he reached the door, he heard soft voices inside, not loud, not scary, just gentle conversation. He took a deep breath. He counted to 3. And then he opened the door. The room was bright and warm, filled with chairs arranged in a friendly circle. A few students were already seated. They looked normal, ordinary, just like him. They were not superheroes. They were not perfect. They were simply people trying to grow. At the front stood a woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. "Hello," she said. "You must be new. Welcome. Come join us." Her voice was calm, slow, inviting. Adam felt his shoulders relax just a little. He nodded quietly and found an empty chair. When everyone had arrived, the woman introduced herself. "My name is Mrs. Hill," she said. "This club is a safe place. A place to practice speaking. A place to share stories. A place to grow without fear. You do not have to be confident to join. You only have to be willing. And if you are here, it means you are already brave." Adam felt the words sink into him like warm sunlight. Already brave. He had never thought of it that way. The first activity was simple. Each person had to say their name and one thing they liked. That was it. Just a few words. But for Adam, it felt like climbing a mountain. When it was almost his turn, his heart began to pound again. He thought about running. He thought about disappearing. But when Mrs. Hill looked at him and smiled gently, he felt something shift inside him. Something small but powerful. He took a breath, opened his mouth, and said softly, "My name is Adam, and I like morning walks." The words were quiet, but they were real. They were his. And for the first time in a long while, he felt proud. After introductions, Mrs. Hill told a short story about a seed. A small seed that wanted to grow into a tree but was afraid because the world outside the soil seemed too big. The seed thought it was too weak, too tiny, too shy. But slowly, with time, sunlight, patience, and trust, the seed grew roots. Then it grew a small stem, then leaves, then branches, until one day it became a strong tree that gave shade, fruit, and life to others. Confidence, Mrs. Hill said softly, is like that seed. You do not force it. You nourish it. You give it time. You let it grow slowly. And one day, you wake up and realize you have become someone strong. Adam listened carefully. The story felt like it was meant for him. He imagined himself as that seed, deep in the soil, afraid to grow, afraid of the sun, afraid of the world. But maybe, just maybe, it was time to push upward, even if only a little. The club session continued with simple speaking exercises. Nothing scary. Nothing painful. Just small steps. People shared short memories. Funny moments. Favorite foods. Fearful moments. Dreams. Mistakes. Every voice was different, but every voice was welcomed. Adam didn't speak again, but he listened closely, and listening gave him courage. At the end of the session, Mrs. Hill said, "Confidence grows when you show up." And today, all of you showed up. That is the beginning of change. As Adam gathered his things, he felt taller somehow. Not physically, but inside. He had done something new. Something brave. Something he had wanted for a long time. Walking home, the world looked a little different. The air felt fresher. The colors felt brighter. The ground felt steadier beneath his feet. He wasn't suddenly confident, no. But he felt a small seed beginning to grow. And he wondered what would happen if he returned next week. He wondered what he might say, what he might learn, who he might become. The thought made him smile, a small quiet smile, but a real one. That night, he sat on his bed and whispered to himself, "I did it." Just those 3 words. He said them softly, but with truth. And maybe that is how confidence begins, not with a loud shout, not with a big action, not with fear disappearing completely, but with a small quiet moment where you finally say, "I tried." And that is enough. And as he closed his eyes and slowly drifted into sleep, Adam felt something new inside him, something warm and promising, something like hope. And this is where our journey truly begins. It was small, almost invisible, but it was real. He felt it when he woke up, when he brushed his teeth, when he ate breakfast. It was a subtle feeling, like a soft breeze inside his chest, reminding him that he had tried something new, something brave, something he once thought was impossible. And that feeling stayed with him as he walked to school, step by step, slower than usual, but not because he was afraid this time. He was thinking. He was thinking about the club. He was thinking about the moment he spoke his name aloud. He was thinking about how good it felt afterward, how warm, how proud, even if his voice had been small. And as he walked, he whispered to himself, "Maybe I can do more. Maybe I can grow, even if it's slow." School felt slightly different that week. Not easier, not louder, but different. When the teacher asked a question in class, Adam didn't raise his hand, but he thought about it. He imagined it. He imagined his hand going up, imagined his voice speaking, imagined the class listening. He didn't actually do it, not yet, but imagining it felt like a step. During group work, he listened like always, but this time he added a few short words. Nothing big, nothing dramatic, just a simple idea about the assignment. His voice shook a little, but his classmates smiled and nodded, and that small moment, that tiny shared smile, planted another seed inside him. Confidence didn't roar like thunder. It whispered like the wind. By Wednesday, something unexpected happened. During lunch, when Adam sat under his usual tree, a girl from the Confidence Club approached him. Her name was Maya. She had short brown hair, bright, curious eyes, and a soft voice that felt friendly and warm. "Hey," she said as she sat down beside him, not too close, not too far, just comfortable. "I saw you at the club last week. You did great." Adam almost choked on his sandwich. No one from school outside the club had ever come to sit beside him like this. He blinked, unsure if she was talking to someone else, but she looked straight at him with a gentle smile. "I didn't do much," he said quietly. "I only said my name." Maya nodded. "That's enough. It's more than some people do on their first day. I didn't talk at all when I joined. I cried a little instead." She laughed softly at herself, not ashamed, just honest. Adam stared at her, surprised. She didn't look like someone who would cry. She looked confident. She looked calm. She looked friendly. "Really?" he whispered. "Really," she said. "Confidence is like a plant. You water it, you wait, you trust. And slowly, it grows." Adam felt his shoulders relax. Talking to her felt easy, simple, like breathing warm air. They sat together for the rest of lunch, not talking much, but sharing a comfortable silence. Before she left, Maya said, "Come again this week, okay? It's better when you're there." Adam didn't know what to say. No one had ever said something like that to him before. He watched her walk away, feeling something new in his chest, a soft, glowing feeling he didn't quite understand yet. Thursday felt longer because he was waiting for Friday. Not for the weekend, like most students, but for the Confidence Club meeting. He wanted to go again, but he was also scared. What if they asked him to speak again? What if he messed up? What if people laughed? The fear whispered in his mind, sharp and familiar. But this time, the courage whispered too, gentle but steady. "You did it once. You can do it again." And somewhere between those two voices, Adam found a strange balance, a place where fear and courage could stand side by side without fighting. Finally, Friday arrived. As the last class of the day ended, Adam packed his things slowly, feeling the same butterflies he felt last week, but this time the butterflies felt stronger, as if they were learning how to fly more confidently. He walked toward room 12, feeling each heartbeat like a soft drum. When he reached the door, he hesitated for just a moment, then opened it, this time without counting to 3. And inside, the room looked just as friendly as before. The chairs were in a circle, the sunlight was warm, and Mrs. Hill smiled at him with that same kind, welcoming look. "Hello, Adam," she said softly. "I'm glad you came back." Her voice didn't judge him. It didn't expect anything from him. It simply welcomed him. Maya waved from her seat, gesturing for Adam to sit beside her. He felt a small burst of warmth in his chest as he walked over and took the empty chair next to hers. "I told you you'd come," she whispered with a grin. Adam felt himself smile, a real smile, not the small polite one he used to give people. The meeting began with something new today. Mrs. Hill asked everyone to share one feeling they had during the week. One feeling, she explained. Not a story. Not a long explanation. Just a feeling. Students went around the circle. Excited, one said. Tired, another said. Confused, a third said. When it was Adam's turn, he hesitated for a moment, then said softly, hopeful. The word felt warm in his mouth, warm in his heart. Maya glanced at him and smiled, and Adam felt that maybe hopeful was the right word. After the feelings round, Mrs. Hill introduced a simple speaking activity. She gave everyone a small slip of paper with a question on it. The questions were easy, friendly questions. What makes you smile? What is your favorite place? What is one thing you want to learn? The goal was not to speak perfectly, but to speak honestly. When Adam looked at his slip of paper, his heart started to race again. His question was, what is something you want to become? The words felt heavy, but also meaningful. He listened as the students before him answered their questions. Some answers were funny, some were shy, some were thoughtful. And when it was Adam's turn, he felt that familiar fear rise in his chest, but he also felt Maya's presence beside him, steady and reassuring. He took a small breath and spoke. I want to become someone who is not afraid all the time. The words came out slowly, carefully, but they came out. The room was quiet for a moment. Not an uncomfortable silence, but a warm one, a respectful one. Then Mrs. Hill nodded with gentle understanding. That is a beautiful goal, Adam, she said. And it starts right here, right now, with moments like this. Adam felt something shift inside him. Something deeper than before. It was not just pride this time. It was understanding. He realized that saying something aloud, even something small, even something shaky, could make his fears feel lighter. And as he listened to others speak, he felt connected, not by perfection, not by confidence, but by honesty. The session continued with a short story, another seed story from Mrs. Hill, this time about a tiny candle in a dark room. The candle was small and scared because the darkness around it felt endless. But the candle learned something important. Even a small light can push away darkness. Even a small flame can guide someone lost. Even a tiny spark can grow into something brighter. Confidence is not about becoming the brightest light in the room, Mrs. Hill said softly. It is about believing that your light matters, no matter how small it is. Adam held onto that thought tightly, like a treasure. At the end of the session, something special happened. Mrs. Hill gave everyone a small notebook. This is your confidence journal, she explained. Every day, write one small moment when you were brave. Not perfect. Brave. Even if it is something very small, write it. Confidence grows when you see your courage. Adam opened the notebook. The pages were blank, white, waiting for him. He wondered if he had enough courage to fill even one page, but then he remembered the moment he walked into the room, the moment he spoke his name, the moment he said the word hopeful. Maybe he had more courage than he thought. Walking home that afternoon, Adam felt lighter than usual. The world felt bigger, but less scary. The clouds looked softer. The air felt cleaner. The ground beneath his feet felt steady. And he realized something important. Confidence was not something you waited for. It was something you built. Slowly. Patiently. One small brave moment at a time. At home, after finishing his homework, Adam opened the confidence journal. He stared at the blank page for a moment. Then he wrote, in small but clear letters, "Today, I came back to the club. Today, I spoke again. Today, I felt hopeful." And as he closed the notebook, he felt a soft wave of warmth run through him. It wasn't confidence yet, not fully. But it was something real. Something growing. That night, he lay in bed and thought about the week. He thought about Maya's smile, about Mrs. Hill's kindness, about the small stories, about the gentle voices, about the warm circle of chairs. And he realized something he had never realized before. Confidence was not loud. Confidence was not bold. Confidence was not fearless. Confidence was gentle. Confidence was quiet. Confidence was trying again, even when your hands shake, even when your heart beats fast, even when fear whispers loudly. Confidence was showing up. And he had shown up twice. As he drifted into sleep, Adam whispered to himself again, this time with a little more strength, "I can grow. I really can." And somehow, that was enough for the night. The sunlight touches his room with a golden glow, the kind of glow that makes everything feel a little bit easier, a little bit lighter. He stretches slowly and thinks about the confidence club, about the circle of chairs, about Maya's smile, about Mrs. Hill's comforting voice. He remembers the notebook, the blank pages waiting to be filled with courage. And he wonders what today might bring, even though it is the weekend, even though school is closed, even though the club will not meet again for several more days. Confidence does not wait for Fridays, he realizes slowly. Confidence can grow anywhere at any time, even on a quiet Saturday morning. After breakfast, Adam sits near the window, watching people pass by on the street. Some walk quickly, some slowly, some with purpose, some with heavy thoughts. He wonders how many of them feel confident. How many feel afraid? How many pretend to be brave even when they are not? He remembers something Mrs. Hill said during the last session, something that echoed softly in his mind. Everyone has fear. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward anyway. And as he sits by the window, watching life move gently around him, he begins to understand the meaning of those words. Fear lives in everyone. Even Maya, who seemed so calm, had cried on her first day. Even Mrs. Hill had stories of her own struggles. Confidence wasn't a gift given to some people and not to others. It was something people built piece by piece, moment by moment. Around noon, Adam's mother enters his room. She carries a basket of laundry in her hands and a tired but warm smile on her face. "You seem quiet today," she says softly. He shrugs, unsure how to explain the thoughts swirling inside him. "I'm thinking," he replies. She nods. "Thinking is good. Just don't forget to live between the thoughts." Adam doesn't fully understand what she means, but the words feel important, like a small piece of wisdom wrapped in ordinary language. His mother leaves the room, and Adam continues to sit by the window until he finally decides to do something he rarely does: go outside on his own, without a reason, without a plan, without fear guiding his steps. He walks to the park near his house, a place filled with trees, benches, and the gentle laughter of children. He finds a quiet bench under the shade of a large oak tree and sits down. It feels peaceful here, calm, safe. He pulls out his confidence journal and opens to the next blank page. He writes slowly, "Today I came outside alone. I usually stay at home, but I wanted to try something different." The words are simple, but they feel brave. He pauses, then adds, "It feels nice." Just 2 words, but they carry a warm truth. As he closes the notebook, he sees an older man sitting on a bench across from him. The man is feeding birds with careful, patient hands. Adam watches him, fascinated by how calm he looks, how confident in his stillness. The man notices Adam watching and gives him a gentle nod, a silent hello. Adam nods back, feeling a small connection, a small moment of human warmth. Later that afternoon, something unexpected happens. Maya sends him a message. This surprises Adam because they never exchanged numbers. She must have asked someone or found a way because she wanted to reach out. Her message is simple: "Hey, I'm going to the library today. Do you want to come?" Adam feels a quick rush of nervousness, a familiar tightening in his stomach. But beside the fear, there is also excitement, curiosity, maybe even joy. He reads the message again. "Do you want to come?" Someone wanted him there. Someone thought of him. Someone wanted to share a moment, a place, something simple but meaningful. He hesitates for a long time, staring at the screen. Then he takes a deep breath and types, "Sure, I'll come." His hands shake slightly when he presses send, but the moment feels powerful, like a seed pushing through the soil for the first time. The library is a short walk away, but Adam's heart feels heavy with anticipation. As he gets closer, he sees Maya waiting by the entrance, holding a book in her hands and swaying gently from side to side. She spots him and waves enthusiastically. "You came," she says with a bright smile. Adam nods shyly. "Yeah," he replies. "I wanted to try." Maya grins. Trying is everything. They walk inside together, and the quietness of the library feels strangely comforting. The tall shelves filled with stories, the soft rustle of turning pages, the calm voices whispering between the aisles, all of it feels like a safe place for slow, gentle growth. Maya leads him to a table near the back, a place where the sunlight touches the pages of open books like a warm spotlight. "I come here when I need to think," she explains. "Or when I feel nervous. Books make me feel less alone." Adam understands. Words have always made him feel safe too. They sit together, not talking much, just reading quietly side by side. It is a peaceful silence, not awkward or heavy. And as the minutes pass, Adam feels something he has not felt in a long time. He feels included. He feels like he belongs. After a while, Maya closes her book and looks at him. "Can I tell you something?" she asks. Adam nods slowly. "I joined the club because I used to freeze when I had to speak in class," she says. "My chest would feel tight, my hands would shake, and I would forget my words. I felt like everyone was looking at me, waiting for me to mess up." Adam looks at her with surprise. She had seemed so confident in the club, so calm, so strong. "Really?" he whispers. "Yes," she replies. "But I learned something important. Confidence doesn't start with talking. Confidence starts with trusting yourself. Trusting that you have something worth saying. Trusting that your voice matters." Her eyes soften as she says the words. "Your voice matters, Adam." Adam feels a strange ache in his chest, the kind that comes when someone says something kind, something true, something he needed to hear but didn't know how to ask for. He looks down at his hands, unsure what to say, but Maya continues, "You're quieter than most people." But quiet doesn't mean weak. Quiet can mean thoughtful. Quiet can mean observant. Quiet can mean strong in a different way. Don't think you need to be loud to be confident. These words settle into him like soft rain falling into dry soil. They spend the rest of the afternoon talking in gentle, easy conversations. Nothing heavy, nothing complicated. They talk about books, about school, about their favorite places. Adam tells her about his tree at lunch. Maya tells him about her cat who thinks it is a dog. They laugh softly, share small jokes, and discover simple things they have in common. And when it is time to go home, Maya says, "I'm glad you came. We should hang out again." Adam nods, feeling his heart glow with the brightness he didn't know he had inside. That evening, back in his room, Adam opens his journal again. The page fills quickly this time. "Today I went to the library with Maya. I was nervous, but I went. We talked. I felt comfortable. I felt happy." He pauses and then adds, "Maybe I'm becoming a little stronger." As he closes the notebook, he catches his reflection in the window. He doesn't look different on the outside. His hair is the same, his face is the same, his eyes are the same. But something in his expression has changed, something subtle, something growing. He looks like someone who is beginning to believe in himself. Sunday arrives with a soft breeze and a sky full of gentle clouds. Adam spends most of the day thinking about the upcoming club meeting. He feels nervous, yes, but also excited. A new kind of excitement, a brave kind. He wonders what activities Mrs. Hill will bring this time. He wonders if he will speak more. He wonders if he might share a story, a memory, maybe even a fear. The thought scares him, but it also feels like the next step. That night, as he lies in bed, he thinks about the seed story and the candle story. He thinks about Maya's words. He thinks about the notebook. And suddenly, a realization rises inside him like a quiet sunrise. Confidence isn't something he finds. Confidence is something he builds. And he is building it not all at once, not loudly, not perfectly, but slowly, carefully, gently. Like a seed pushing through the soil. Like a candle lighting a dark room. Like a quiet voice learning to trust itself. He inhales deeply and whispers into the darkness, "I'm growing." And as the night wraps around him like a soft blanket, Adam feels a moment of calm, a moment of courage, a moment that tells him, bigger challenges are coming, but he is stronger than he used to be. And he is ready, slowly but surely, to face them. Up now. Adam stops in front of the poster, staring at the colorful letters. Talent show. The words feel heavy, powerful, almost terrifying. Students will get on stage, speak, sing, dance, perform. They will show the whole school who they are. Adam's stomach twists. He can't imagine standing on a stage in front of so many people. He can barely speak in class. And yet, as he looks at the poster, he feels something strange inside him. Not excitement. Not exactly. But curiosity. A tiny thought that whispers, what if, someday, maybe, you could do something like that too? He shakes his head quickly. No, he mutters quietly to himself. Not me. Never me. And yet, the curiosity stays, sitting quietly inside his heart like a seed waiting for the right moment to grow. As he walks to class, he sees Maya waving at him from her locker. She looks cheerful, her eyes bright, her smile warm. Did you see the poster? She asks. Adam nods. Yes. It looks scary. Maya laughs softly. Everything looks scary at first. She leans in closer. I think I might sign up. Adam stares at her with surprise. Really? She nods, her voice calm but honest. Yes. I want to do a short speech. Something about courage. I think it might help me grow. Adam admires her bravery. She doesn't pretend she isn't scared. She simply moves forward anyway. You're brave, he whispers. Maya smiles gently. I'm trying. That's enough for now. Her words echo the lessons from the club, and Adam feels a small warmth spreading in his chest. They walk to class together, and for the first time, Adam feels like walking beside someone else is easy, natural, something he deserves. During class, the teacher surprises the students with an announcement. This month, she says, we will be practicing short presentations. Each student will prepare a 2-minute talk about something they care about. Adam's heart drops. A presentation. Speaking in front of the class. Even a small one sounds terrifying. He shrinks a little in his seat, wishing he could disappear into the back wall. But then the teacher adds, we will start next week, and you will have time to prepare. And remember, this is about practice, not perfection. The class groans, some with excitement, some with fear, and Adam feels both emotions twisting together inside him, a storm of worry and possibility. At lunch, under his favorite tree, he opens his confidence journal and writes, Today the teacher said we must do a presentation. I am scared. But maybe I can try. Maybe I can talk for 2 minutes if I practice. The words feel uncertain, but they feel honest. As he closes the notebook, he notices someone walking toward him. It's not Maya. It's someone he barely knows, Daniel, a boy from his math class. Daniel sits down a few feet away, looking shy and unsure. Hey, he says softly. You go to that club, right? The confidence club? Adam nods, surprised. Yeah. Daniel hesitates. Is it helpful? Adam thinks about the circle of chairs, the warm smiles, the gentle moments, the small brave steps he has taken. He nods again. Yes, he says quietly. It helps a lot. Daniel sighs with relief. Maybe I should join. I get really scared when I have to talk in class. Adam looks at him and sees a reflection of himself, the quiet fear in his eyes, the nervous hands, the small hope hidden under his words. You should come, Adam says softly. It's safe there. Daniel smiles a little, and for a moment, Adam feels something new, not just confidence, but leadership, like he is someone who can help others, someone growing strong enough to guide someone else, even in a small way. Friday arrives, and with it comes the Confidence Club meeting. Adam walks to room 12 with a deeper kind of excitement this time. When he enters, the room feels like a second home now, warm and welcoming. Mrs. Hill greets everyone with her usual soft smile, but today there is something new in her eyes, a quiet excitement, a gentle anticipation. Today, she says as the group settles into their seats, we will begin something special. Something bigger. Something a little more challenging. The students exchange curious looks. Mrs. Hill continues, the talent show is coming soon, and many of you are afraid of speaking in front of others. So today, we will begin practicing short speeches. Very short. Just 30 seconds each. Nothing scary. Nothing heavy. Just a simple moment to practice being heard. Adam feels his pulse quicken. 30 seconds. Half a minute. But even half a minute can feel like a mountain when fear is sitting on your shoulders. Maya leans close and whispers, "We'll be okay. We can do it together." Her words settle him slightly, like a calming wave. Mrs. Hill writes a few simple speech prompts on the board. Talk about something you enjoy, share a favorite memory, describe a small dream, explain why you joined this club. Adam's chest tightens again. Explain why you joined this club. That one feels too big, too personal, too honest. He looks at the other prompts. Describe a small dream. Yes, that one feels safer, kinder. One by one, the students stand up and give their short speeches. Some speak confidently, some shake, some forget their words, some laugh nervously, but every voice is welcomed. Every voice is enough. When it's Adam's turn, his legs feel weak as he stands. He can hear his heartbeat in his ears. Maya gives him an encouraging look. Mrs. Hill nods gently. The room is silent but warm, a silence full of support instead of judgment. Adam holds his breath for a moment, then begins. My small dream, he says softly, is to not feel so afraid. I want to be able to talk to people. I want to say what I feel. I want to feel strong inside, even if I am quiet. His voice trembles slightly, but he continues, I don't want to disappear anymore. I want to grow. The room stays quiet for a heartbeat, then Mrs. Hill gives him a warm, proud smile. That was beautiful, Adam, she says. Honest. Real. Courageous. Adam sits down, feeling his knees shake, but inside, he feels stronger than he has felt in months, like he just climbed a hill he never thought he could climb. As the session ends, Mrs. Hill gives them a challenge. Next week, she says, everyone will prepare a 1-minute speech. You may write it, you may practice it, you may ask for help. But try to speak with your heart. Confidence comes from speaking honestly. The idea of a 1-minute speech fills Adam with fear, but also with determination. He survived 30 seconds. Maybe he can survive 60. Maybe he can even grow through it. That night, Adam opens his journal again. He writes slowly, carefully. Today I stood in front of the group. I spoke for 30 seconds. I said something true. I didn't run. I didn't hide. I was scared, but I spoke. He stares at the words, then adds, I think this is what courage feels like. The realization sits inside him like a warm flame. Small, but bright. The weekend passes with gentle thoughts and quiet moments. Adam spends Saturday practicing his 1-minute speech. He stands in front of the mirror and speaks softly. He stumbles over his words at first, but slowly, he finds a rhythm. He talks about growth, about fear, about small steps. On Sunday, he practices again, this time without looking at the mirror. His voice is still soft, still cautious, but steadier than before. He writes his speech in the journal too, each sentence like a brick building a small house of courage inside him. Monday arrives again, and school is filled with the same noise and movement as always. But something feels different. Not the hallways. Not the teachers. Not the lessons. Something inside Adam feels different. He feels taller inside. He feels stronger. Not in a loud way. Not in a big way. But in a way that feels real. And when he sees the talent show poster again near the office, he doesn't feel scared the same way. He still feels fear, yes, but now he feels something beside it, something like possibility. On Tuesday, something unexpected happens. During English class, the teacher asks if anyone would like to volunteer to read a short passage aloud. Usually, Adam would look down, hide behind his book, pretend to be invisible. But today, without fully thinking, his hand rises, just a little, just a few inches, but enough for the teacher to notice. "Yes, Adam," the teacher says, surprised but pleased. Adam feels panic rush through him for a moment, but then he breathes slowly, gently, remembering the circle of chairs, remembering Maya's smile, remembering Mrs. Hill's words. Confidence grows when you show up. So he shows up. He reads. His voice shakes at first, but then it softens. By the end of the paragraph, he is speaking clearly, calmly, softly, but strongly enough for the class to hear. When he finishes, the teacher says, "Well done," and a few students nod at him with friendly smiles. It is a small moment, but for Adam, it is huge. That afternoon, during lunch, he doesn't sit under his tree alone. Instead, he sits with Maya and Daniel. They talk about school, about their speeches, about their fears. And for the first time, Adam feels like he belongs at a table with other people. He feels included. He feels seen. He feels valued. On Friday, the 1-minute speech day arrives. Adam walks to room 12 with shaking hands, but steady feet. Mrs. Hill smiles at them as they enter. Today, she says, you will speak a little longer. But remember, perfection is not the goal. Honesty is the goal. One by one, the students stand up. Some cry. Some laugh. Some forget their lines. But each one tries. Each one grows. When it is Adam's turn, he stands, holds his breath, and begins. His voice is soft, but strong enough. He talks about fear. He talks about growth. He talks about the small dream inside him. He speaks for 1 full minute. And when he finishes, the room stays quiet again, warm, proud, gentle. Mrs. Hill says, "Adam, your voice is becoming stronger. We can all hear it. And we're glad you're here." Adam sits down, feeling something powerful inside him. Not pride. Not excitement. Something deeper. Something stronger. Something like transformation. He whispers to himself, "I did it. Again." And somehow, he knows this is only the beginning. And a single step into a room full of chairs and warm smiles. And now, as this new week begins, the sun rises over the town with a soft golden light, a light that touches everything quietly, kindly, almost in celebration, as if the world itself knows that something important is about to happen. Adam wakes up early, long before his alarm rings, long before the house fills with the usual morning sounds. He lies in bed for a moment, listening to the soft whisper of the wind outside, feeling a mix of nervousness, excitement, and something new, something steady, something brave, something like confidence blooming inside him. Today is not an ordinary day. Today is the day he will make a choice that he never believed he could make, a choice that will mark the beginning of a new version of himself. But before that moment arrives, he moves slowly through his morning routine, brushing his teeth, washing his face, getting dressed, all with quiet thoughts floating through his mind, thoughts about the club, about Maya, about Mrs. Hill, about the circle of chairs that helped him speak when he felt speechless, and about how far he has come from the boy who once hid behind silence like a shield. At school, the hallways buzz with excitement. The talent show is getting closer, only 2 weeks away now, and students are practicing everywhere, in classrooms, in corners of the hallway, in the courtyard, under trees, near lockers. Some rehearse lines, some stretch for dance routines, some sing softly to themselves, some test out magic tricks, and some just talk about their nerves with friends. It is a loud week, a bright week, a week full of energy that once would have made Adam shrink, but now makes him curious. He feels the energy around him and wonders if he could be part of it, even in a small way. As he walks to his locker, he sees Maya standing beside the talent show sign-up sheet. She turns toward him with a deep breath and says, "I did it. I signed up." Adam's eyes widen. "Really?" She nods, though her hands shake slightly. "Yes. My speech is only 3 minutes, but it feels like climbing a mountain. Still, I'm ready to try." Adam smiles at her, a soft smile full of pride. "You're brave," he says, and Maya shakes her head gently. "I'm just trying. Like you." The words settle inside Adam like warm sunlight. Later that day, in English class, the teacher announces that all students will practice their presentations in front of small groups. Adam's group is made up of Maya, Daniel, and 2 girls he doesn't know well. When it's Adam's turn, he stands up slowly. His knees shake a little, but his voice is steadier than before. He speaks about his journey with fear, about how fear feels heavy but can become lighter, about how small brave steps can change a person, even if no one else notices. When he finishes, his group claps softly, not because they must, but because they genuinely feel something from his words. Daniel pats him on the shoulder. Maya smiles proudly. And Adam sits down feeling that something powerful has happened. He has spoken in front of people who were not part of the club, and he survived, even thrived, even grew. The moment stays with him all day, glowing inside him like a quiet flame. At lunch, under the tree that once held his silence, Adam sits with Maya and Daniel. They talk about their speeches, about school, about the talent show, about fear, about courage, about how strange and beautiful it feels to grow. Maya looks at Adam thoughtfully and says, "You should sign up too." Adam freezes. "Me?" She nods. "Yes. Not because you have to, but because you can." The words hit him deeply. Not because you have to, but because you can. He looks down at his hands, hands that used to hide under desks, hands that used to tremble at the thought of raising themselves, hands that now hold a journal filled with courage. "I don't know what I would do," he whispers. "Speak," Maya says gently. "Speak your heart. You're better at it than you think." Daniel nods in agreement. "You helped me. Your words matter more than you know." Adam feels a soft ache in his chest, a mixture of fear and pride, worry and hope, the beautiful tension that lives inside every growing moment. After school, he doesn't go straight home. Instead, he walks to the long hallway where the talent show sign-up sheet hangs. The paper is filled with names, colorful ink, bold handwriting, nervous scribbles. He stares at the blank space near the bottom, the space still waiting for one more voice. His heart pounds. His stomach tightens. Fear whispers, "You're not ready." Courage whispers, "You are growing." And something deeper than both fear and courage begins to rise inside him, something like truth. He takes a breath, picks up the pen, and writes slowly, "Adam, short speech." His handwriting is still small, still shy, but the moment is huge. When he steps back, his knees feel weak, but his heart feels stronger than ever. He whispers to himself, "I can do this. I can really do this." And for the first time in his life, he truly believes it. That evening, Adam opens his confidence journal and writes the longest entry yet. Today I did something big. Something I never dreamed I would do. I signed up for the talent show. I am scared. Very scared. But I also feel proud. I want to speak. I want to share my story. I want to grow. As he finishes the entry, he touches the page gently, as if touching a piece of his own heart. The next 2 weeks become a slow, beautiful journey of practice and preparation. Every evening, Adam stands in front of the mirror and rehearses his speech. At first, he stumbles. He forgets lines. He speaks too quickly. His hands shake. His voice trembles. But each day, he gets a little stronger. He breathes a little deeper. He trusts himself a little more. Maya helps him practice after school, listening with patience and giving gentle advice. Daniel sometimes joins too, offering encouragement and sharing his own fears. Slowly, the speech becomes a part of Adam, not just words he memorizes, but truth he carries in his heart. The night before the talent show, Adam can't sleep. He lies awake in the dark, listening to the soft sounds of the house, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement swirling inside him. He thinks about the boy he used to be, the boy who hid under the tree, the boy who never raised his hand, the boy who whispered instead of speaking, the boy who thought confidence belonged to everyone except him. And he thinks about the boy he has become, the boy who walked into the club, the boy who spoke for 30 seconds, then for 1 minute, then for 3, the boy who helped Daniel, the boy who read aloud in class, the boy who signed his name on a sheet of paper without running away. He whispers into the darkness, "I'm proud of you," not to someone else, but to himself. And with that whisper, he finally drifts into sleep. The morning of the talent show arrives with a sky so blue it feels like a gift. Adam dresses slowly, carefully, choosing clothes that make him feel comfortable, not flashy, not loud, just himself. At school, the auditorium is buzzing with excitement. The stage is decorated with bright lights, colorful curtains, and a microphone standing in the center like a quiet invitation. Students practice backstage, some nervous, some excited, some pretending to be brave even when they are not. Adam takes a deep breath, holding his speech in his hands. Maya finds him and squeezes his shoulder gently. "You've got this," she whispers. "One word at a time." Daniel nods beside her. "You're not alone." Their presence fills Adam with warmth. He is scared, yes, but he is not alone. And that makes all the difference. When it is finally Adam's turn, he steps onto the stage with slow, careful steps. The lights feel bright. The room feels huge. The audience looks like a sea of faces. For a moment, he feels the old fear rise, the fear that says, "Run." But then he remembers the circle of chairs, the gentle voices, the warm smiles, the stories, the journal, the small brave steps, the moments that brought him here. He looks at the microphone and takes a slow breath. And then he begins. His voice is soft at first, but steady. He speaks about fear, about growing up quiet, about feeling invisible, about wanting to be brave. He speaks about the Confidence Club, about Mrs. Hill's stories, about Maya's kindness, about Daniel's courage. He speaks about seeds and candles and small dreams. He speaks from his heart. And as he speaks, something magical happens. The room becomes quiet, not the cold silence of judgment, but the warm silence of listening. People are listening. People are hearing him. Him, the quiet boy who once believed his voice didn't matter. Now his voice fills the room. Now his story touches hearts. Now his quiet courage shines like a small but powerful light. When he finishes, there is a long, warm pause. Then the audience claps, not polite claps, not rushed claps, but genuine, heartfelt applause. Adam stands there, stunned, overwhelmed, breathing deeply as the sound wraps around him like a hug. Maya and Daniel cheer loudly from the front row. Mrs. Hill watches with proud tears in her eyes. And Adam feels something he has never felt before, a strong, steady confidence rising inside him like a sun finally breaking through the clouds. Later that evening, when Adam goes home, he doesn't rush to his room. He doesn't hide. He walks in proudly, his steps light. His mother sees him and smiles. "How was the show?" she asks. Adam takes a deep breath and says, for the first time with full honesty and strength, "It was amazing. I was brave." His mother hugs him tightly, and Adam feels her pride, warm and real. That night, he writes one final entry in his confidence journal. "Tonight, I stood on a stage. Tonight, I spoke to a crowd. Tonight, I didn't hide. I shined. And I learned something important. Confidence is not something you find. It is something you build. One small brave moment at a time. And I will keep building it every day." As he closes the notebook, he whispers softly, "This is only the beginning." And he is right. It is only the beginning, not just for Adam, but for anyone listening, anyone learning, anyone growing, anyone taking their own small brave steps into a bigger, brighter life.